Mr. Giovanni, you can do anything you want in this world. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A fire department, a police, and an ice cream man.
Why do you want to be those things?
Because to give ice cream to everyone.
You can save people and give them ice cream?
Yes.
Wow.
And I can put out fires.
That seems like a dream life to me.
Yeah, and I'm going to be a police too.
And a police too?
Yeah.
So you want to help people?
Yes.
Wow. Those are some great dreams, my son.
If I handed you a blank check and said, write in the amount that you're worth, would you write 10,000, 100,000, a million, 100? How do you really put a value on yourself?
Every day, you pay out a check in the form of your time, your talent, and your treasure. Come with me on this journey, the blank check, as we hear inspiring stories and lessons learned to help you uncover how much you're really worth.
This blank check is made payable to the journey of life.
It was 2018. I was driving back home on the 10 freeway through the low desert in California in my gas-friendly Toyota Prius. It was a long, lonely drive home. It was already late at night and it was dark. There was hardly any cars on the road. I turned the radio off and just needed some time to think and be alone with my thoughts. I was feeling frustrated with myself because I was coming home late yet again. By the time I would get home, my daughter would already be asleep. And this really upset me because she had recently just turned 1 year old. And I promised myself I was going to be there in time to get her ready for bed. You see, I wanted to be the best dad I possibly could be. I wanted to be a present dad. I wanted to be a hands-on dad. My parents had to work, so I missed out on a lot of those things. And I wanted to be different for my daughter and for my kids. I wanted to be there just to read them bedtime stories and tuck them into bed. And while I was driving, I had an epiphany moment that I want to share with you. I got a vision of this future scene of my life. And in this moment, I'm with my daughter and she is much older. My baby girl is becoming a beautiful young woman. And I'm sharing with her my prayers and visions for her life. And I'm telling her all these inspiring stories of how you can be anything you want to be in this world. Just follow your dreams, baby girl. And in this moment, she looks me in the eyes and asks, Dad, did you follow your dreams? I look down. And sadly, my answer at this time would be no. I would explain to her how I had to play it safe, simply because of the need to provide, and I had to put my big dreams aside and focus on getting what the family needed and just do what was best. And at this point of the story, she would look at me and say, Dad, you are a hypocrite. The vision suddenly dissolved as I realized that would be such a painful moment that I would never want to experience. And that moment I decided I never wanted that potential moment to be part of my future life story. Instead, I wanted her to say, Dad, I'll follow my dreams, just like you have always shown me. And that was the story that I wanted. That's the story that I wanted for my daughter and myself. And I wanted not to just say those words, but truly live it with my life. And you see, at that time, I had somehow got myself into one of those situations again, where I thought it was this great new business opportunity, but it turned out just to be a job creating wealth for someone else. It's very easy to get sidetracked building someone else's dreams when You're not fully focused on your own. And trust me, I know. I've told myself every possible excuse. Things like, it's really hard to follow your dreams, and you've got to play it safe to succeed. And things like, I've worked too hard to lose what I've built. Or, following your heart that's basically only for special people. And the one that I know that we all think but never say out loud. What if I fail? The long list of excuses kept on going and going and going. I wondered, what would my family say? I wondered, what would my friends think? But after that car ride, I kept revisiting that same vision. And the thought kept reoccurring to me. Don't be a hypocrite. And I started to rewrite that story a little bit. And I thought, no external influence can really fulfill or even stop my success. The story that you tell yourself determines your destiny. And sometimes the biggest lies are the ones that we tell ourselves. And I was telling myself I was okay with the situation I was in. But the truth is, I wasn't. I knew I was ready for more. And now, I had someone who was looking up to me. So I made the decision to make another big change and take yet another leap of faith. That year, I opened up an employment agency. And the interesting part of that story is that our first big client that we were working with was Coachella Festival. And that client was only possible because of the drive that I was making to that same desert just 1 year earlier. And that was confirmation that my previous time wasn't wasted, but it was really necessary for my journey. And in that season, I uncovered a sacred truth for myself. But the birth of my daughter wasn't just the birth of her life. It also brought out a new life in the person that I was called to be. And my life was more than just where I was, but it was also in the journey that I was taking. There's this Jewish poem that really expresses this that I want to share with you. Author unknown. Birth is a beginning, and death a destination, and life is a journey, from childhood to maturity, and youth to age, from innocence to awareness, and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion, and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength, or from strength to weakness, and often back again, from health to sickness, and we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, from grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until not looking backwards or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high point along the way, but in having made the journey step by step, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning, and death a destination, and life is a journey. And going back to that car ride that one night, that wasn't my destination. It wasn't just getting home that one night. All of that season, all of those experiences were part of the journey. And although we don't always know all the points along the way, we don't have to. We just have to say yes and be open to the drive and be willing to say, yes, honey, I'm following my dreams. And I hope you will too. Honey, you can do anything you want to in this world. What do you want to be?
I want to be a dentist, and artist, and a mom.
Are those your big life dreams?
Yes, they are.
How do you know that you can do those?
Because I've chosen them and God has told me I can do them from my heart and my soul.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. I always enjoy spending time with you guys, and I look forward to connecting with you each and every single episode. And we'll see you next time on The Blank Check.
Bye. Thank you for listening on The Blank Check.